It's time for Wacky World Studios Sketching with Steven, featuring art director Steven Walker.
Ahoy there, wacky landlubbers, and welcome to another episode of Sketching with Steven. We're going to be drawing one of our wacky pirate characters today, so get your sea legs and prepare for adventure. Today we've got 3 different pirates here to show you. We're going to be drawing the captain right here with his tricorn hat right there on his head. The cool thing about pirate characters is they have lots of fun accessories, so feel free to customize your drawing with all those fun pirate accessories, like maybe an eye patch, maybe a scar, maybe a parrot. We have a parrot in a previous video that you guys can watch and learn to draw a parrot on your pirate shoulder. So have fun with these pirate characters. So before we draw our pirates, we're gonna have to loosen up and we're gonna have to draw some circles, okay? So rotate those shoulders, almost like you're rowing a rowboat. There you go, get them nice and loose. Okay, wave them like the sea. All right, and then we're gonna draw some circles. All right, so just go round and round. Lots of circles there, almost like a cannonball. All right, now that you're nice and loose, we're gonna get started on our fun little pirate character. I've drawn one ahead of time so you can see a little bit of what we're gonna draw here today. There's this circle right in the center of his head, just like the rest of our wacky characters we've drawn. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start with a circle on the center of your page here. All right, just like before, we'll make it about the size of a nice cannonball there. Now, once you have a circle that you're happy with, we're gonna put some guidelines on there. And the first one will go top to bottom, curve towards the left side of your page. And then another one will go left to right and curve towards the bottom of your page. All right, now that we have all the guidelines on there, we're gonna start with the very first feature on our pirate, and the first feature is gonna be his nose. Okay, and we're just gonna do a little bump right where those 2 guidelines meet. And that will be our pirate's nose. Now below that bump, we're gonna add 2 little nostrils. They almost look like little teardrops. There's one on the left and one on the right. Okay, and then just a little C shape here, just for the side of his nostril. That'll finish off that pirate nose. Okay, so now that we have the nose on there, we're gonna draw in the top of his cheek. The first one's gonna be over here on the left side, right on top of the guideline there. That's the top of the cheek on that side of his face. And then on the other side, it's gonna be a letter S curve. It'll kind of curve up away from your guideline. And there's his cheek shapes. Okay, and then down below his nose, we're gonna draw his smile. He's a happy pirate. So let's draw a little curved smile line here. Looks like the smile on a happy face. Follows the same curve as your circle. And at the top of the smile here on the right side, go ahead and put a little dimple. Okay, and then we're gonna open his mouth up. So to open his mouth from that dimple, we're gonna draw another curved line. It'll curve down towards the bottom of your circle there. Okay, and then at the very end, we're gonna do another S curve that goes back up to the smile. There's his mouth. All right, and inside his mouth, let's put his tongue. We're gonna draw 2 bumps in there. There's one bump, almost like a letter M. You draw another bump to create that tongue shape. And then you can shade in the back of his mouth there you go. Let's shade it in. All right, and just to finish off the lower part of his face, let's add a lip. And his lip is going to be another C shape that follows the same curve as his mouth. Also kind of looks like a hook, which you might have on the end of his hand. Okay, so now that the mouth is finished, let's come back up here and draw his eye shapes in. He's got circles for eyes, so let's draw some circles right on top of our cheeks. And the bottom of that circle is cut off just a little bit because the cheek is pushing up into it. If you make the eyelid a little darker at the top, it makes it look like a lid there. So you can make your line a little thicker to create an eyelid. All right, and do the same thing over here. This one's a little bigger because it's closer to us. All right, we're gonna come back to these eyes a little later. So we're gonna finish off the rest of his face first. All right, so let's start with the rest of his cheek. So his cheek is gonna curve off the circle here. And it kind of comes to a little bit of a point. He's got a bit of a jawline here. And so that's gonna just come to a point and go down and connect to your lip that you drew earlier. There you go, there's that cheek on the left side. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the right side. Come to a point and then just kind of curve up. This is just gonna hang outside your circle for now. Because the next thing we're gonna draw are his ears. Okay, and his ears are letter C shapes. So right here where you ended your cheek, you're gonna draw a backwards letter C. It'll curve up and then over to your circle, and it'll kind of connect back to your circle there. There's his first ear. Okay, and then on this side, another C shape. This will come out from behind his head there and just kind of curve down to his cheek. Okay, and then inside each ear, we're gonna draw two little curved lines. That'll be the inside of his ear. So there's the first curved line, and the second one is another hook shape. It'll curve off of that and head back down towards the top of his ear. Okay. You'll see a little bit of this one just poking out from behind his head. All right, now basically the whole bottom part of his face is finished now. So now we're gonna start on that tricorn hat. This is a really fun feature to draw, so I hope you enjoy it. To start that feature, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a line that kind of starts outside your circle and just very lightly draw it in, just almost as a guideline for the hat. So come down at an angle, and kind of hide behind his ear here. There you go, just a very light line, just to give yourself a guideline for that hat shape. It doesn't have to be a straight line, you can have a little wave in it. Okay, so below that hat line, you're gonna see a little bit of his hair poking out. So starting right here outside your circle, we're gonna draw one of our favorite shapes, the shark fin. You gotta watch out for those sharks in the ocean. So let's go ahead and draw a couple shark fins there. Right here below his hat, we'll draw maybe a couple of just kind of poking down. We'll do maybe 3. 3 is always a good number. 1, 2, and 3. Have that connect back up to the hat. Okay, then from the side here, we're gonna see a little bit of the side of his hair poking out. So we're gonna do a couple more shark fins. These will be a little smaller. So there's 1, do maybe 3 on this side too. There's 2, and 3. And then just take that hair down behind his ear here. There you go. And there's his hair. Okay, now you could take another line up here just to finish off the side of his face. Little curved line there. That'll finish off the side of his face there. Okay, so now that his hair is drawn in, we're gonna draw the rest of that hat. On both sides of his hat, we're gonna draw a little line that starts to curve up. So on this side, it'll curve out and away from his head. And same thing over here, out and away from his head. Okay, and to create that tricorn shape, we're gonna draw a letter V, a very wavy V line. Okay, and this V is gonna almost connect to that line that you just finished drawing. And it's gonna curve up and down. It'll come all the way down to where the that vertical guideline is. Just very lightly draw it in at first, and then you can go back over it. There's our first part of the V. And the same thing over on the other side. Have it curve up, then over to where it almost connects on the other side. There's your V shape. You know, we use a lot of letters to show you how to draw in these classes. You know what the favorite letter of a pirate is, right? Of course, everyone says R. Of course, that's the obvious one. But actually, it's the C, or maybe the I, you know, one of those two. All right, so now that we have that V shape drawn in, we're gonna draw the top of his hat before we finish it off. The top of the hat is gonna start right about the center of the V that you drew. A curved line coming up. There's the first part. Then over on the other side, another curved line. Again, coming out from almost the center of that V. And then we're gonna connect those two with almost like a rolling hill, or a letter M up at the top. So you have like a little hill there, and then another hill coming out from behind that one. There you go. And then you can always go over your lines once you're happy with them, just to make them a little darker. Okay, now his tricorn hat's almost finished. The only thing we have to do now is connect the back parts of the hat here. So we're gonna start on the side here and curve it over so that it basically touches behind the top of his hat there. Okay, and that same shape is gonna continue through on the back side. It's gonna curve around, and then it'll curve down to meet the other side. And there you go. Now you have a tricorn hat on your pirate. Okay, and just a few more details we're gonna draw in here just for fun. Maybe we'll draw a little bit of his shirt and his collar in there. So let's, down here at the bottom of his lip, we'll draw a little V shape right here, and it's gonna be the start of his collar shape. Okay, and then coming up from that shape, we'll have a line on the right side, and then another letter V. Curve down and then back up to his cheek. There's his collar. And then on this side, we'll have another V shape. Lots of V shapes down here to create that collar. Okay, and he's wearing maybe a vest underneath, so we're gonna draw a little curved line down to create that vest. And then off each point of his collar, we're gonna draw 2 more curved lines to create that vest. Lots of V shapes down here to create that. Okay, and then maybe we draw a little bit of his shoulder in. We're gonna start with a curved line here. All right, and then another curved line on this side, create the shoulder. Okay, and then maybe one more curved line over here. And there we go. There's the bottom part there of his chest and his shoulders. And of course, if you want to go back and watch our video with Mango, you can draw a parrot right here on his shoulder. So you can always accessorize your pirate with a parrot. Okay, so now that the shoulders are drawn in, the next thing we're gonna do is basically go up here. We're gonna finish off those eyes. He does have eyebrows, so let's draw a couple eyebrows in here first. They're like big long teardrop shapes, kind of float above each eye, and they're dark so you can shade them in. Go ahead and fill them in. The other eyebrow is poking out behind his hat. You can see that whole eyebrow. Okay, and maybe we want to give him a little bit more of a lid. So if you want to draw a little line above each eye, that'll kind of give him a little bit more of an eyelid. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to draw those pupils in. Okay, and his pupils are just circles inside his eyes. I'm looking over to the side here. Couple nice round pupils. Then inside each of those pupils, draw another circle. And then you can give them a highlight inside that circle. So 3 circles to create those pupils, and then shade in the middle circle there. Okay, and there you have our pirate. So now that we've finished our pirate, you guys can start accessorizing. Like I said, add eye patches, scars, any kinds of fun little things you want to add to him. And then, of course, sign your drawing when you're finished with it. Okay, thank you again so much for drawing this pirate with me. I hope you guys had a great time. This one's a really fun one to draw because there's so many accessories and lots of fun pirate puns that you can have while you're drawing him. So I hope you enjoyed this class. Please make sure to send us your drawings. We love seeing them. We've seen a couple come in so far, and we love to receive those, so send those drawings in. If you have any requests for a future character, let us know. We love to take requests. Thank you again so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.